What is going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back today with a game plan for the Pestilence event. As you can see, time recording 10 hours, 24 minutes coming. So it's actually just going to be released. It's going to be very, very exciting times for all of us to go through the first legendary horseman here. So hopefully you guys have a team built up, but got some good news here. Even if you don't have the web warriors and the dark hunters built up, it's still possible for you guys to actually unlock Morgan Le Fay. Really anything past difficulty 4 is really going to be a battle of the leaderboards in terms of getting more shards and higher red stars for her. So as you guys can see in the rules of the Scourge event, keep in mind once again, you're going to get a run score each time you run. So I mean, in this case, it's going to be determined by two things. One, being the difficulty level that you set it as I'm sure you guys have seen from other content creators, and as well the number of scourges, basically these one-time status effects that actually do impact your battle overall. But as a result of those difficulties, it does actually increase your overall score. So I mean, that's duly noted. What everyone's been commenting on is the fact that we should actually just try to go for the highest difficulty that we can without any scourges, and that will set a base run for you. After doing so, if you feel comfortable for that difficulty, then you can progress with adding more scourges. In doing so, it's really going to set a base for how your team is going to perform in that difficulty level, and that way you can add status effects and scourges to your liking to maximize your points overall during the week that this event's on for. So that said, you guys, shout out to my alliance mate here. As you can see in this screenshot, that really details in terms of the specific node requirements as well as the 10 nodes breakdown. And as you can see here, for the purpose of this video, I am going to be assuming that I'll be going through my first run at difficulty 5. So as you can see, if this is going to be the majority of you guys watching and going through difficulty 5 or lower, there isn't going to be many restrictions, especially if you're lower than 5, then you can actually feel free to use the majority of your roster, right? But as you can see, starting at no difficulty 5 here, we're going to get those restrictions in terms of hero and global characters being used only in certain nodes, villain and cosmic, and as well, nodes 5, nodes 10 are generally where web warriors and dark hunters are involved, but even with difficulty 5, we are actually allowed to use the city. So I think that's a very good balance. Once you go anything beyond difficulty 5, so in this case, difficulty 6, that's when you're really restricted to either web warriors or dark hunters. And ultimately, that's going to be my goal, but I'm definitely going to capture on video for you guys difficulty 5, so that way you can get a sense of, how powerful your team needs to be, and especially since I'll be showing you guys my characters here. Dive into my hero roster here real quick, and then followed by my global. I'll show you guys who I have in my arsenal right now for city web warriors. I don't actually have my dark hunters, so I'm going to skip them, but as well as showcase the villains and the cosmic characters that are best to be used. So I mean, filtering here, as you can see already by the hero roster, you can see that the most obvious one is going to be the Secret Avengers, right? This team is just an absolute juggernaut right now in the game, being an absolute staple in Doom 2.3 raids, as well as Dark Dimension. So Sharon Carter, Captain Sam, Maria Hill, they're going to provide some amazing synergies if you can utilize them. I think having Kestrel is going to be very powerful as well. She can be utilized in both the hero and the cosmic node. So I mean, a no-brainer, one of the best characters in the game. Another strong one is Shangchi if you guys have him, but unfortunately with him, he is only a hero, so you can only utilize him for 2 of the nodes noted, but he's going to provide value because he can always impact turn meter reduction. Another obvious one is going to be Icarus and Cersei, and to be honest, this is probably going to be my likely starting combination just because they're hero and they're also cosmic characters. They're 2 of the best characters in the game when synergizing together. They have a lot of synergies, turn meter reduction, cleanse, and damage overall. So I mean, I think those guys are going to be no-brainers if you can insert them into your team combination. Another one I like is the new Warriors meta. They're not fully built, but the 3 characters already make up a very powerful team, very similar to Secret Avengers. Deadpool, with all the way that she can spread negative conditions, she has a self-heal. She also is able to actually have the 5 attack charge instant kill. So I mean, we can charge that up for the right setting. It's definitely going to be very, very valuable. And she can also be utilized in hero and as well as cosmic node. So I mean, that's really good to know. Synergizing with Cloak and Dagger, their negative conditions is going to be much appreciated, especially when you're bringing out blinds. And again, because of the way this is built, it's similar to Dark Dimension, where we do want characters that have synergy, but as well, they can can last over the span of time, right? They're going to be needing to generate energy and really have a good sustainability with the rest of the team, but as well as synergies and supportive capabilities. Another good one here that you can see with many players likely having built up is the majority, actually all of the Astonishing X-Men. So I mean, Jubilee and her team, they're going to be able to leverage that synergy. That's a really good backup team to have outside of the characters I just talked about. But yeah, I would use them as a B team just because they have really good synergies together. And overall, those are the characters I would recommend high level just based on what I can see from my roster, you guys. So a few things to note, it's very similar to the heroes. There are some characters that already we can synergize again. An obvious one being the Secret Avengers. I like Shuri because she can grant energy. You can use her as a slot in if you want to just build up energy before another node. But a good one here that's going to synergize as well with the villain nodes is actually Omega Red. All of his attacks are percentage based, so I mean he's extremely effective in Dark Dimension, but as well as being able to actually take a percentage of their health and actually giving it back to himself as healing. So I mean, anytime you have a character like that, he's going to add value there. Another obvious one I see is going to be Dr. Doom. He's going to be used sparingly just because his energy supplementation. We won't have Deathpool's energy granting like the same way we do in raids, as this is going to be Dark Dimension, kind of similar traded. So I mean, Dr. Doom will add value in certain nodes, but use him sparingly if you guys have him locked. As you can see, we do have aspects of the Astonishing X-Men, but I don't know if I would recommend them just because they're not fully completed here. There's not too much otherwise to note. I mean, I like Nick Fury because he has support, but Emma Frost is going to be a good cleanse. Mr. Sinister could be a good slot in if needed, just to be able to duplicate clones and be able to have that synergy, build up an army. But those are the ones that stick out to me right now, high level. So characters I would recommend right there. Next up is the city roster, and again, you guys, this is only going to be applicable if you're doing difficulty 5 or lower, just because the moment you start 6, you have to use Dark Hunters or Web Warriors. So in this case, these characters can still be used. I imagine that it's going to be a lot easier. As you can see, we've already spoken about Shangchi. The majority of the symbiotes are here, so you can utilize them as a B team if you want to get through them as a Node 5 and Node 10. And based on the videos I've seen right now that have been released by content creators, Node 10 is definitely going to be the hardest. So you do want a team that can kind of sponge and take up some damage. And potentially for my run in difficulty 5, that's likely where the symbiotes will stand. And then I'll utilize my Web Warriors as a follow-up team. Cloak and Dagger, no-brainers, especially if you can use them. The number of negative conditions they can incur. Just keep in mind, because this is similar to Dark Dimension, you want to be mindful of the energy when you end up in a node and you're finishing up. Make sure you have energy saved so that way they're ready to go with the next time they're being used. Dr. Octopus is really good as well. I do like his synergies, the fact that he can extend negative conditions. If you guys have Misty Knight and Colleen Wing, I think they'll be really good as part of that meta Heroes for Hire team, but otherwise there's not too many usages here in the city. As you can see, Shang-Chi is the obvious MVP, but at least we got 2 full Web Warriors and as well as the symbiotes being ready to go here. And otherwise, that's all I can see right now, guys. Next up, we do have the villains here, and as noted earlier, Omega Red is definitely going to be one of the best ones here. As you can see, we will utilize Dr. Doom. I wouldn't recommend Doctor Strange Heartless just because he does shine with the rest of his Darkhold team, and I don't have them unlocked yet just because they're still being released in the game. So Dr. Doom is an obvious MVP here as well. He's going to have that synergy again in the global nodes, but as well as this villain. So, I mean, he can have some value there overall. I like the fact that Ebony Moss here as well. Got some good supportive capabilities. Emma Frost, once again, providing the cleanse. Hela is good if you have negative conditions on the team and you wanted to be able to spread them out. So, I mean, I think she's going to be good synergy with Omega Red. That could be a potential team combination right there. Minerva's good for the revival and healing sustainability, just to have a little bit of support, because I'm not seeing that right now in the villains team. So, there you guys have it. Overall, some good characters, but not the best in terms of when we're compared to all the heroes that we've seen. Last but not least, I think by far Cosmic is definitely going to be the best one in terms of the selection, just because so many powerful characters are included in this bucket. And as you can see, we're going to start things off with, once again, Icarus and Cersei. If you have them unlocked, obvious no-brainers. I would synergize them actually with Deathpool, just because the more enemies they can take down. Deathpool is very strong, spreading negative conditions again, and she can also heal, especially with her one-shot if you have her attack charged up. I like Silver Surfer as well. Got one of the best speeds in the game. Definitely going to utilize him in terms of, you know, having those negative conditions, the ability block, heal block. Spreading of negatives with Hela is also going to be useful here. Minerva is always nice to bring, as noted earlier. If you got her built up, she's just a good revive if needed. So that way, just keep in mind, these nodes you can't revive or heal the characters, right? So we want to be able able to maximize their potential output and to get through the run, so that way we do get those points generated. I do like Adam Warlock as well, one of the best legendaries in the game if you do have them locked. Ability block, a double stun if needed, and as well as a revive, so he gets another chance at battling once again with your team. So I mean, definitely some good combinations here that we can utilize, especially if you have them built up. That's my high level review right there, guys. So I mean, otherwise, again, I don't have Dark Hunter built up, but if you do, they're going to be a really good team overall. And lastly, I already kind of showed you in glimpses, but my Web Warriors is going to be the main team that I'm going to utilize for Nodes 5 and Nodes 10, where they're noted. So as you can see, this is how they're built up right now. Very good team synergy. They'll be combinating with the symbiotes, but that's pretty much a wrap right there, guys. I think this is going to have no issue getting through Nodes 5, because as that screenshot showed earlier, generally that's recommended for tier gear 13 or over. So I mean, we're in a good place right there. Hope this video is able to help you guys get some insight and preparation. You bet I'm gonna have some recordings coming out. So wish you guys all the best of luck, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.